In order to treat my terminally ill girlfriend, I delivered food during the day and set up a BBQ stall at night, just to gather enough money for her surgery sooner. But when over a dozen Rolls-Royces parked at my door, I finally knew she was an illegitimate daughter of a wealthy family. She took away everything she could, including my roommate, but left only me behind. A reporter asked Shia Jinian, "This gentleman in front of you, who is he to you?" She answered coldly, "Just a caregiver who took care of me recently." Later she became the rich and beautiful lady everyone in Hong Kong looked up to, while I turned around and married her mortal enemy. On my wedding night, Shia Jinian sent someone to abduct me. She grabbed my collar and asked coldly, "Why did you marry that ugly freak?" "Because she never treated me as a caregiver," Shia Jinian sneered. "A grown man. And this is all your ambition?" I nodded. "That's right. This is all my ambition." The day the Shia family came to pick up Shia's 12 Rolls-Royces lined up in a row, parked in the alley I had to pass through to get home, reporters carrying cameras and microphones surrounded the entire apartment building, making it impassable. My BBQ cart couldn't be pushed in after closing. I could only walk. My neighbor Chen Wei saw me. He enthusiastically hooked my shoulder. "Jing, you hit the jackpot, kid. Your Jinian is actually the little princess of the Shia family. Old Master Shia sent people to pick her up. You can also go back with her to enjoy a good life." While I was stunned, Shia Jinian was already surrounded by a large group of people. Coming downstairs, I had never seen Shia Jinian like this, wearing the latest high-fashion dress of the season, with a slender figure and a noble temperament, looking exactly like the blessed rich lady in idol dramas. Beside her, also followed my roommate Ji Boda. When Shia Jinian looked at me, her gaze was different from before, carrying a superior's disdain. A sharp-eyed reporter asked her, "Miss, may I ask, what is your relationship with this gentleman in front of you?" Shia Jinian's gaze shifted from my body and moved away, answering coldly, "During this time, just a caregiver who served me." The neighbors gasped. Because they often saw me buying things for Shia Jinian, accompanying her to exercise, they didn't know she was my girlfriend. In an instant, various looks of sympathy or mockery all fell on me. I froze, looking down at the 10 yuan t-shirt on my body, the 20 yuan canvas shoes, and the exhaustion all over me. I indeed looked quite like a caregiver. I took care of Shia Jinian for 5 years. Even if she said I was her neighbor, I wouldn't be in such a wretched state. Walking to the lead car, Shia Jinian just opened the door for Ji Boda. Letting him sit inside, suddenly thought of something, turned her head to ask me, "You've taken care of me for so long. If you have any wishes, say them. I can appropriately satisfy you." Chen Wei immediately egged me on. Quick, the opportunity has come. Ask her to take you along." But I remained completely still, only numbly shook the medicine bag in my hand. "Since you don't have a terminal illness, then the money I spent buying you medicine these past few years, let's settle it." "Oh, right, and living expenses. A total of 598,000. I took out my phone and calculated rapidly while speaking, and reported a number. People around scoffed one after another, mocking me for being too short-sighted. With Shia Jinian's net worth, what is a mere 598,000? As long as I opened my mouth, she would even give 59.8 million. Shia Jinian frowned. The look in her eyes towards me was a bit complex, but then immediately asked her assistant to give me a check. I took a look. It was 600,000. She even gave me 2,000 extra. Ji Boda held her arm and looked at me. "Jinkan Jinian is quite generous to you, giving you whatever amount you asked for, but from now on you are people of 2 different worlds. I hope you won't in front of anyone make any bad comments about Jinian." Shia Jinian also looked at me, pursing her lips. "I don't want anyone to know you have a relationship with me. I understand." She despised me, afraid I would say in the media that she was my girlfriend. Rest assured, I won't. After all, having such an ungrateful and cold-blooded girlfriend is really nothing to show off. Shia Jinian left. The onlookers also dispersed. Only Chen Wei, who usually had the best relationship with me, felt indignant. "Jinkan, are you stupid? What can you do with 600,000? You can't even buy a house." I looked at him with a pale face. "But she only owes me this much. Liking her was my own choice. Taking care of her was also loving the wrong person. I just accept it." Chen Wei sighed, poked my head with his finger and called me stupid. Returning home, things belonging to Shia Jinian were all taken away. Ji Boda's too, like a hurricane passing through, leaving a mess all over the floor. With no one to clean it up, having run the stall all night, early in the morning I even dropped by the hospital to get medicine for Shia Jinian. At this moment, I was so tired I collapsed on the sofa, not wanting to move at all. My cat, Pengua, crouched in front of me, tilted its head, and meowed. It was a stray cat I picked up from the roadside. I got up to feed it, and tidied up the house along the way. In the evening, I opened my stall as usual. Without Shayaginian, my expenses were actually very small. 600,000 with my spending habits is enough for me to use for 20 years, but I want to buy a house. Want to have a home of my own? In the snack street outside the university town, my BBQ stall has the best business. Those young college students love to come patronize. On my birthday, in front of my stall, suddenly came a fashionably dressed woman. Boss, give me 5 lamb skewers, 10 lamb kidney skewers. Used to serving young and energetic college students. It was my first time serving this kind of rich lady who looked very wealthy at first glance. I couldn't help but look at her a few more times. This person had a great figure. Visually about 1.7 meters tall, a beautiful face, a pure temperament, and looked very pretty. Wavy hair and double eyelids. Her facial contours had a 3-dimensional Eurasian mixed feel. Not far away at the alley entrance parked a silk Cayenne, with its lights on. A driver was sitting inside, probably waiting for her. Having read numerous romance novels, in the first instant, I pictured in my mind a rich lady coming to buy skewers for her little boyfriend who is still in college. A third-rate plot? I smiled, particularly cheerfully. All right. May I ask if you are taking away or eating here? I guessed she was definitely taking it away, so I even brought out the packing boxes. But the rich lady said, eating here. Then, ignoring my astonished look, elegantly found a seat and sat down. She ordered about 300 yuan worth of food in total. I grilled while serving her the skewers. When I finished grilling everything, sweating all over from exhaustion, she actually devoured everything like a whirlwind. Grilled pretty well. How are your cooking skills? I froze and pointed at my own nose. Are you asking me? My cooking is okay. Before setting up this stall, I specially studied as a chef. As soon as the rich lady heard this, she immediately took out a business card from her LV bag and handed it to me. Are you interested in coming to my house to be my private chef? I picked up the business card and took a look. HD Group CEO, Liu Ryan. My gaze became strange. President Liu doesn't want to keep me as a toy boy, does she? Monthly salary of 100,000. Of course, I knew President Liu was definitely not that kind of person. Sure when, right? I can start work tomorrow. It wasn't that I wanted to yield. It was that she offered way too much. You know, to buy a house in a place where land is as expensive as gold, like Yongging. Relying on my income from the stall, I might have to work until I die. The next day, I tucked the business card away and went to the Liu family villa to apply for the job. Liu Ryan opened the door herself. The young woman was wearing a gray tracksuit. Just came back from a run outside. Seeing me standing in front of the carved iron gate, she personally unlocked it and led me inside. She crossed her arms, walking briskly in front. I slowed my pace and followed behind her. The Liu family home was very large. It took 7 or 8 minutes to walk from the gate to the living room. I observed the surroundings while walking, being wary of her, just in case she was some malicious female scammer. Then with a thud, I bumped into her delicate back. A burst of sweet fragrance rushed into my nose. Sorry, Miss Liu, I didn't mean it. I hurriedly held her shoulders to apologize. Li Ryan turned around, unable to bear it, and looked at me. Did you think I was some big scammer? I looked astounded. Isn't that the case? Liu Ryan laughed in anger, raised her hand wanting to hit me, but held back, and only said, Don't keep calling me Miss Liu. Take a good look at who I am. I leaned in for a closer look, and shook my head. I don't know you. Really don't know you. I'm just a guy selling barbecue? How could I possibly know a rich lady like you? Maybe you mistook me for someone else. I was wondering, how could a good job with a monthly salary of 100,000 fall on me? So it turns out the rich lady is blind and mistook me for someone else. Liu Ryan gritted her teeth and smiled. Tong Jinkin, if you dare say you don't know me again. When the rich lady got furious, cold air seeped out from all over her. I subconsciously shrank my neck, staring fixedly at the woman's pure and beautiful face. A face flashed through my mind after being burned by fire, a face full of scars. If the scars on that face were removed, I was suddenly startled and almost immediately remembered her identity. Then I turned and ran. The next moment, my wrist was grabbed by someone and forcefully pulled back. My back pressed against the wall. Liu Ryan's face magnified in front of my eyes. She pinned me between her body and the wall, looked up at me. Tong Jinkin, keep running if you have the guts. I couldn't run. After all, we were too close. Her breath was almost spraying on my face. I didn't dare to move at all, afraid she would think I was taking advantage of her. Actually, before Shaya, I had another girlfriend. In the summer when I was 17, a transfer student came to our class. This transfer student was named Zhang Wan. She had large burn scars on her face. The classmates were very afraid of her and ostracized her everywhere. Even when eating in the cafeteria, no one dared to sit with her. Everyone secretly called her an ugly freak. Her desk mate asked to change seats, saying that seeing her face would cause nightmares. The teacher helplessly asked if anyone was willing to be her desk mate. Her fair fingers scratched the edge of the desk, revealing her inner nervousness. Just when everyone was silent, not wanting to sit with her, I weakly raised my hand. At this time, the class erupted in a roar of laughter. Teacher, just let Tong Jinkin sit with her. Little trash paired with the ugly freak. It's quite a match. At that time, the grandmother who adopted me was still alive. Grandma raised me by collecting scrap, and to help Grandma lighten her burden, I would also go dig through trash cans after class. To help Grandma pick up bottles, my classmates despised me, saying I had a smell on me. From my freshman year of high school, I had always sat alone at a desk. The teacher knew my situation and sternly scolded the students not to mock me like that. But a bottle's mouth can be blocked. People's hearts cannot be sealed. Behind my back, they still gave me the nickname Little Trash. At this moment, I ignored everyone's mockery, pinched the corner of my clothes, and nervously asked Jiang Wan, student Jiang Wan, are you willing to let me be your desk mate? I was afraid she would also despise the smell on me. Who knew? Jiang Wan nodded vigorously. As long as you are not afraid. I am willing. Later, our interactions became more frequent. I found out Jiang Wan was very smart. Her test scores were always the top in the grade. She tutored me in my studies. I brought her the zongzi my grandma made by hand. Delinquents outside the school harassed her. I grabbed a baseball bat and fought those delinquents. I had no money to eat. She split half of her pocket money with me. In our senior year of high school, she suddenly confessed to me, told me to apply to the same university as her, and promised to go to Tsinghua Peking University together with me. I accepted her confession and filled in Tsinghua Peking University as my first choice. But just as the choice submission time was cut off that night, I was working part-time at a 5-star hotel and ran into Jiang Wan's family coming for dinner. Among them was also a boy sitting with Jiang Wan, a very handsome boy. When both sets of parents went to the restroom, they were still discussing, saying they would let this boy accompany Jiang Wan abroad for treatment during the summer vacation and get them engaged after coming back. I admit I felt inferior. I changed my choices after returning, sent a message to Jiang Wan saying I fell in love with someone else and wanted to break up with her. Then I immediately blocked all of Jiang Wan's contact methods. No one knew which university I went to, and I never received any news from Jiang Wan again. If it weren't for the reporter photographing you the day Shaya Jinian went home, I probably wouldn't have known until now that you had returned to Yanjing. Lu Ryan's voice carried anger. Is the someone else you mentioned, Shaya Jinian? I didn't expect the breakup reason I made up randomly would be remembered by her. Now I struggled hard to break free from her. It doesn't have anything to do with you anymore, right? I remember I already broke up with you. Lu Ryan went crazy with anger. Am I a dog you keep? You break up just because you said so. As her voice fell, the villa gate opened. From inside walked out a handsome man wearing a white suit. The man was very handsome, like a prince in a fairy tale. I had seen him. He was exactly the one in the private room back then. The one who had dinner with Liu Ryan. I remember back then both sets of parents wanted them to get engaged. So Liu Ryan already had a fiancé and still wanted to pester me. Do all of them think I am so easy to bully? Tong Jinkin, Sister Yan. You finally found Tong Jinkin. As soon as the boy opened his mouth, he was extremely excited. Sister Yan, what exactly is the relationship between this boy and Liu Ryan? Liu Ryan nodded, pointed to that boy and introduced to me, Shaya Zixuan, the young master of the Chaya family. Tong Jinkin. Before Liu Ryan could finish speaking, Shaya Zixion immediately bounded over and hugged my arm. I know Sister Yan's boyfriend, right? I froze. Liu Ryan actually told everyone without avoiding suspicion that I was her boyfriend. When Shaya Jinian dated me, she was healthy. Later, she inexplicably got into a car accident. She thought it was the Shaya family's matriarch, who wanted to get rid of her, the illegitimate daughter, to make the Shaya family's matriarch feel that she, the illegitimate daughter, was not a threat. That's why she started pretending to be sick. But I didn't know, and even saved money to take her for checkups and buy medicine, spending thousands of yuan at a time. I thought since I agreed to be her boyfriend, then I should be responsible for her. No matter what illness she had, I must do my best to treat her. But she was faking it, and she was picked up by old Master Shaya to the Shaya family. But she told everyone I was just her caregiver. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but look at Liu Ryan with some agitation. I urgently wanted to know if I had misunderstood her back then, but Shaya Zixuan leaned to my ear and whispered, even though Sister Yan likes you, but I am the fiancé the Liu family chose for her. Take a look at yourself. In what way do you match the current Sister Yan? She is no longer the ugly freak from back then, but you are still a smelly BBQ seller. I froze and subconsciously pulled my hand out of Xia Zixuan's embrace. But Shaya Zixion fell to the ground on his butt, as if I had pushed him. The little boy immediately looked at me with a bewildered face and asked pitifully, "Brother Jinkin, did you just push me?" I immediately looked at Lou Ryan. It's over. The plot of being framed by a male green tea in novels is going to happen to me. Just when I thought Lou Ryan would definitely get angry at me because of Shia Zik, Lou Ryan stared at the person on the ground with a complicated expression. "Shia Zixuan, do you think I'm blind? Jinkin didn't even touch you. Are you possessed by a drama queen? I warned you before not to come to my house. Now, what are you acting out in front of my boyfriend?" After speaking, she took my hand and left, a bewildered Shia Zixuan, and went inside. The Liu family's living room is very large. The servants inside were doing their own jobs. No one gave me this sudden guest. A second glance, Lou Ryan personally poured me a glass of water. Then let me sit. "Jinkon, tell me, that message you sent me back then was fake, right? You didn't fall in love with anyone else?" Right. Actually, no. That message was fake, but I did fall in love with someone else later, although it was Shia Jinian who chased me. But I took care of her for 5 years. There is definitely some affection. I don't deny what I have done. Even if the result proved I was wrong, Shia Zixuan is Shia Jinian's half-brother. Lou Ryan didn't get engaged to him. Everything was just the wishful thinking of the elders of the two families. And I stayed at the Liu family to be Lou Ryan's private chef. Lou Ryan even specially allocated a room for me, right next to hers. I was a little speechless. It wasn't until I went into the room at night that I realized there wasn't even a quilt on the big bed in the room. I went to find the butler said expressionlessly. "Everything for you is arranged by the young lady personally. It's none of my business. You can ask the young lady." I braced myself and knocked on Lou Ryan's door. "Gotta come in?" Pushed the door and entered. There was no shadow of Lou Ryan in the bedroom. There was a splashing sound of water coming from the bathroom. Taking a bath and still calling me in? I just wanted to say I would come back later. The bathroom door opened. Lou Ryan had her wet seaweed-like hair draped over her shoulders. Wearing a nightgown, came out dripping wet just like that. I couldn't help but look a couple more times. It's not that I'm lustful. It's that her figure is really too good. Slender, beautiful legs exposed under the nightdress. A plump waist that can be grasped, and her chest is very weird. The most fatal thing is she seemed to be deliberately seducing me, staring straight at me like a fox. Being abstinent for more than 20 years, how could I withstand this kind of temptation? I immediately got a nosebleed. Lou Ryan was startled, quickly came over to lift my chin and forced me to look up, pressing me down to sit at the foot of her bed, tore a few tissues to help me block my nose, then said with disgust, "Why are you so useless? Haven't you lived with Shia Jinian for 5 years? Haven't you seen it?" I answered aggrievedly. She didn't let me touch her. Funny to say, Shia Jinian chased me, but she guarded against me like a thief, especially after getting the terminal illness. No matter how good I was to her, she was always cold to me. On the contrary, to my roommate G. Boda, she was extraordinarily attentive. G. Boda is very good-looking, works as a salesman in a 4S shop. There was a time, Shia Jinian always sent messages in the middle of the night, asking me to help her order milk tea, a small cup, 30 yuan. Later, I saw the same one in G. Boda's WeChat moments. Only then did I know Shia Jinian ordered it for him. I was very angry. When I came back after closing the stall, I saw Shia Jinian nestling in G. Boda's arms. The two of them were playing games. I pulled G. Boda away and questioned Shia Jinian. "Why is it that when I touch you, you hide far away, but he can get so close to you? Who exactly between us is your boyfriend?" Shia Jinian covered her nose and said, "You come back every day smelling of cooking fumes. Being close to you is really disgusting." G. Boda also said, "Brother Jinkin, don't misunderstand. Jinian and I really aren't what you think. I treat him as your brother. That's why I'm not bothered about trifles." That morning, I took a very long shower and even thought about not going to set up the stall anymore. But Shia Jinian sent me a message. "The medicine money this month is 7,000. Hurry up and transfer it to me." I felt chilled to the bone and didn't transfer it to her. She sent another message. "I knew you found me to be a burden and didn't want to treat me anymore. Fine. Go die. All right." I hurriedly closed the stall. When I rushed home, I found out the Shia family had sent someone to pick her up. The reason was very simple. Shia Mingj, the heir of the Shia family, got bone cancer and died young. Shia Zixuan is again a useless ado who can't be helped up, not to mention being stupid. Regarding business management, he is completely clueless. Shia Jinian became the Shia family's last hope. Old Master Shia couldn't possibly let her continue to wander outside. I thought Leah Ryan would laugh at me when she found out. Who knew she would look at me with a heartbroken expression, then hugged me tightly. "Jinkana, tell me about what happened to you these past few years." There's really nothing much to say about these past few years. I changed my choices and went to Rongcheng, which is furthest from Yangjing. I met Shaya Jinian in my sophomore year. Shaya Jinian came from a single-parent family. Her monthly living expenses were a meager 700 yuan. Her roommates all wore brand-name clothes and used luxury skincare products, only she wore an 80 yuan dress for 2 years. I had already started doing part-time jobs at that time. Not only did I not ask grandma for money, I also sent the saved money back to grandma every month. I was abandoned since I was a child. Don't know who my biological parents are? Grandma was my only relative in this world, but she suddenly died. Got hit by a car while collecting trash. Was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment but died. When I got the news, I just felt the sky was falling. I swore I must let grandma enjoy a good life. The little old lady also promised me she would live to 100 years. How could she break her promise? It was Shaya Jinian who took a leave of absence to go back with me. She handled grandma's funeral affairs with me and encouraged me to cheer up. Grandma's compensation was 300,000. All of it was transferred to my card. After returning to school, Shaya Jinian started chasing me. At that time, I felt life was too gloomy and would cry bitterly for no reason. Went to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor said I had depressive tendencies. Shaya Jinian started buying meals for me every day, dragged me out to participate in club activities, and created all kinds of surprises for me. Guided by her, I slowly walked out of the darkness. So when she confessed to me, I agreed. But the year of graduation, Shaya Jinian got into a car accident. Went to the hospital for a checkup, came back and told me she had a terminal illness. At that time, I was extremely scared, worried she would also leave me like grandma. So I did several jobs by myself. Just to save money to treat her illness, I kept fantasizing about having a home of our own with her. So when her condition got slightly better, I brought her back to Yan. Here is close to grandma's grave. In case Shaya Jinian's illness couldn't be cured and she died, I would dig a big pit beside grandma's grave. When the time comes, I and Shaya Jinian would lie in together, then cover myself with dirt. A family of 3, never separating, but Shaya Jinian didn't die. I still had to desperately make money. The change happened on the day my roommate G Boda moved in. G Boda is different from me. I set up a stall in the snack street selling barbecue, smoked by fire and smoke, full of cooking fume smell. G Boda is very young and also knows how to dress up, knows all kinds of fashion items. The first time Shaya Jinian saw him, she was fascinated by him, so much so that she forgot she was a patient, attentively helping him move things. My neighbor Chen Wei, who lives next door, often said, why not just let Shaya Jinian go out and find a part-time job? Even if she earns 2,000 or 3,000 a month, it's good. Look how tired you are. I shook my head. Her health is not good. Not afraid of being tired. Chen Wei snorted contemptuously. Her health is not good and she still helped G Boda move things. Last time your BBQ cart broke down halfway. Why didn't she go help you? That's because I didn't call her. Actually, I lied. I called Shaya Jinian more than 10 times, but she didn't answer. When I went back, I found out it turned out to be G Boda's birthday. He invited a big group of people to have a party at home. Shaya Jinian also participated and even gave G Boda a bracelet worth more than 8,000 as a birthday gift. When I called Shaya Jinian's phone was on the sofa. Her friends were asking Shaya Jinian to put the bracelet on G Boda herself. These were all things I accidentally saw later when browsing videos. I asked Shaya Jinian, can you go to the night market with me to help me collect money, please? Sometimes business is too busy. Some customers take the opportunity to skip the bill. You don't need to go for too long either. Just during the busiest hours. If you don't want to support me, just say it directly. Shaya Jinian sneered. How can you ask a terminally ill patient to work? Not that I want to criticize you, but you are really stupid. Don't you know to collect money first before grilling the skewers? That way, no one will skip the bill. Later, a table of customers got drunk. One of them, a delinquent girl in her 20s under the influence of alcohol, suddenly lifted my clothes from behind and touched my back. We caused a scene to the police station. After the delinquent girl sobered up, she firmly insisted. She only wanted to take a packet of tissues from behind me and even said teasingly, Uncle, take a look at yourself. I'm 5 years older than you? Would I sexually harass you? At this time, Shaya Jinian rushed over with a look of thinking I was embarrassing her, grabbed me, and left. Back home, G Boda also said, Brother Jink, you might have really misunderstood that girl. Normal girls don't lack boyfriends. Not to mention you smell of cooking fumes. Normal women really wouldn't take a fancy to you. Shaya Jinian's face was livid. Stuffed me into the bathroom, hurry up and take a shower. I clearly felt Shaya Jinian's attitude towards me change. She no longer protected me like in college, nor was she willing to do anything for me. I helplessly watched her change, but was powerless to stop it. These past few years since leaving Lou Ryan, I haven't been doing very well, especially After knowing Leo Ryan didn't get engaged to Shia, I feel even more like a betrayer asking for trouble. Lou Ryan held my face and forced me to look into her eyes. You're wrong. Tong Jinkin can live very well without anyone. He is never inferior to others. Whether it's during high school, the Tong Jinkin who helped his grandma collect trash, or the Tong Jinkin who sets up a stall to make money to treat his girlfriend's illness, they are all consistently dazzling. It's that idiot Shia Jinian who is not blessed she will understand one day. What a precious thing she lost. Is that so? It's the first time someone says dazzling, and this person is my former ex-girlfriend. I couldn't help but ask, what about you? How did you turn from Jong Won into Lou Ryan? Lou Ryan smiled. My story is relatively simple. When my parents divorced, I was still young and given to my mom, so I took my mom's surname. Later, after going round and round, they got back together again. Then I returned to the Liu family again and changed my name. My gaze fell on her face and couldn't help but raise my hand to gently stroke her face. Lou Ryan looked relaxed. Took out a photo, done according to a photo of my mom when she was young. After countless surgeries and reconstructions, how's the result? You're not just okay, simply perfect. The Lou Ryan in front of me has at least a 7-point resemblance to the woman in the photo. Perhaps this should have been her real appearance. I serve as a private chef for Lou Ryan. During this time, the dish I cook the most for her is sweet and sour pork ribs. It's been several days. Without changing the variety, I've made it so much I'm thoroughly familiar with it. It takes only half an hour from beginning to end to finish. With this 100,000 a month, I really feel guilty taking it. Especially, every day she comes home, she brings me some things. Sometimes it's watches. Sometimes it's flowers. Sometimes it's priceless antiques from auctions. Not to mention small trinkets. She forcefully stuffs them into my hands. After half a month consecutively, I finally couldn't help but seek out Leo Ryan. Suggested, actually, I can also cook other things, like steamed egg with shrimp, royal tofu, braised hairtail, and stuff. Lou Ryan was burying her head, processing a document in the study. Hearing this, she looked up at me. If you really want to do something else, then accompany me to a banquet. I pointed to my own nose in shock. Me. Lou Ryan nodded. I immediately said dejectedly, my image shouldn't be very suitable. Right? Lou Ryan got straight up. Pulled me out. Who said that everyone has a glamorous side? It's just that this side needs money to uncover. Lou Ryan took me to get styled. Bought clothes. My whole person completely transformed. Became both handsome and fashionable. It is said the one we were going to attend is the 70th birthday banquet of Old Master Tong of a century-old prominent family in the Beijing circle. Unexpectedly ran into Shia Jin. The person accompanying Shia Jinian wasn't Ji Boda, but her brother Shia Zik. When Shia Zixuan saw me holding Lou Ryan's hand, his eyeballs were about to spit fire. Shia Jinian, even more so. She sized me up with a look of disbelief. Just like when the Shia family came to pick her up, the look in my eyes when I looked at her was exactly the same. After being exposed last time, Shia Zixuan simply stopped pretending. His words were mean. Sister Yan, are you really going to give up on me? To be with a BBQ seller? I am much nobler than him. What can he give you? Lou Ryan smiled. You're 24, right? Up until now, have you earned a single cent yourself? What is the so-called nobility? Birth. Xia Zixuan's face looked extremely ugly. Having a good background is also an advantage, isn't it? Lou Ryan nodded. A good background is indeed an advantage, but it's not an excuse for you to be superior. Shia Zixuan was instantly speechless. Instead, Shia Jinian looked at me coldly. Tong Jinkin, no wonder you didn't come to apologize to me. So you hooked up with a rich and beautiful woman. But you probably don't know, do you? Her face is plastic. She used to be an ugly freak. Why are you willing to be with an ugly freak and refuse to come beg me? I sneered. Because she wouldn't treat me as a caregiver. Shia Yannian froze for a moment, then sneered. This is all your ambition? I nodded firmly. That's right, just this much ambition. Xia Hajinian gritted her teeth in anger, almost crushing the red wine glass in her hand. Shia Zixuan crossed his arms and said arrogantly, Tong Jinkin, don't be smug. As long as my sister can today, hook up with Old Master Tong's granddaughter later. My Xia family can become the richest in the capital circle. By then, the people who want to marry into my family will have to wait in an endless line, and you won't even be fit to carry my sister's shoes. These words of Shia Zik were meant for me and Lou Ryan to hear. Unexpectedly, Lou Ryan burst out laughing. Xia Meng is dead. With the Shia family in the hands of you two idiots, how could it not collapse? Shia Zixuan's nose twisted in anger. What do you mean? Lou Ryan shrugged. Exactly what it means literally. Then she ignored them and led me into the banquet hall. At this time, socialites who knew Lou Ryan came over to greet her. Everyone surrounded her and asked intentionally or unintentionally Miss Lee, what is your relationship with this gentleman beside you? One thought Leah Ryan would distance herself like Shia Jinian did, but she looked at me, and in front of everyone, generously held my arm. My first love, and also the person I am currently pursuing. Everyone covered their mouths. Oh my God. Miss Lee, there's actually someone you can't catch up to, I asked her softly. When did you start pursuing me? Leah Ryan gave me a helpless look. I suddenly woke up to reality. So she bringing me things every day, gifting me priceless little trinkets. Were these all to pursue me again? At this time, the main character of the birthday banquet, Old Master Tong, appeared. Leah Ryan took me in front of Old Master Tong to present the gift. It was chosen by Leah Ryan, but I personally presented it to Old Master Tong. The moment Old Master Tong saw me, his expression was actually a bit dazed. The woman beside him, holding his arm, also stared at me with a strange look. What is your name? What industry are your parents in? I raised my head and made eye contact with Old Master Tong. My name is Tong Jinkin. No father, no mother, an orphan. Old Master Tong's body shook. At this time, Shia Zixuan came up and said loudly, Grandpa Tong, you probably don't know, he is an orphan. Used to sell grilled skewers at the night market. After hooking up with Sister Yan, he finally looks presentable. As soon as this was said, everyone stared at me with strange looks, as if I was a kept man who relied on a woman to fly up the branches. Leah Ryan took a step forward, firmly blocking me behind her. Grandpa Tong, don't listen to Eski Exixuan's nonsense. Jinkin did indeed sell skewers at the night market, but he earned money with his own ability. I don't think this is anything to be ashamed of. Old Master Tong nodded in agreement, then asked someone to bring a photo for me to see. In the photo was a little boy, about 4 or 5 years old. Do you recognize him? I froze. The person in the photo looked exactly like me when I was young. I have an old photo album at home. Grandma took pictures of me every year after she picked me up, saying to keep them as mementos when I grow up. I instantly understood something. Looked up at Old Master Tong in disbelief. Old Master Tong said, he is my youngest grandson. Later, he was abducted by human traffickers. We used a lot of effort but couldn't find him. Seeing you today, I inexplicably felt you looked very much like him. So, speaking towards the end, Old Master Tong's voice trembled. I also couldn't hold back, and said exactly the same as my photo when I was 5. Saying that, I pulled up the original photo taken on my phone, and showed it to Old Master Tong. The moment Old Master Tong saw it, he immediately gasped, but he didn't confirm my identity right away. Instead, he asked, do you mind if I use your hair to do a paternity test? I nodded. I also wanted to know if I still had any relatives in this world. Old Master Tong took a strand of my hair, handed it to his assistant. Make it quick. Expedite it. The birthday banquet turned into a family recognition banquet. Everyone's expressions varied, especially Shia Jinian, gripping her wine glass, more nervous than me. A long time later, Old Master Tong's phone rang. It was the assistant's joyful voice. Old Master, the test results are out. The blood relationship between Mr. Tong Jinkin and young General Manager Tong is as high as 99.9. As soon as this was said, Old Master Tong's phone fell to the ground with a thud. The woman beside him also rushed up and hugged me, calling out with heartache. My brother Shia Zixuan's face was deathly pale. How is this possible? He's just a barbecue seller. How could he be the abducted youngest son of the Tong family? Sister, say something. What should we do now? The wine glass in Shia Jinian's hand was crushed with a bang. Glass shards pierced her hand, making it bleed all over. The Tong family held a grand family recognition ceremony for me and announced my engagement to Leah Ryan. Who knew on the eve of the engagement, Shia Jinian actually kidnapped me? On the rooftop of the Shia group building, Shia Jinian took off my blindfold, held my legs, looked up at me with a crazed expression. Jinkan, don't marry Leah Ryan. She knew your true identity all along. She is greedy for the benefits your identity can bring her. That's why she wants to marry you. Otherwise, why would she take you to the banquet? Why personally push you in front of Old Master Tong? I laughed. If my identity can bring her benefits, I am willing to let her benefit. Just like when you were my girlfriend. I was willing to support you. Shia Jinian froze. After a long while, she spoke in disbelief. You don't mind her love for you having ulterior motives? I asked back. When you pursued me? Didn't it also have ulterior motives? The 300,000 compensation? The Kalajira Shia Jinian felt that being with me could save her from a lot of hardships. It's just a pity that even though I accepted her confession, no matter how she coaxed and tricked, even at the most difficult times, I never touched that sum of money. To me, this sum of money was my grandma's life. Shia Jinian slumped to the ground. Leah Ryan arrived in time with the police. It turned out that after Shia Mingj died, his mother knew Old Master Shia would bring back Shia Jinian. She was unwilling. For the family property, she and her husband worked hard for all their lives. To fall into the hands of an illegitimate daughter, so she secretly shorted the SIA group, absconded with the money, and went abroad. As for Shia, he was too stupid, unfit to conspire with her. Before leaving, she wanted to take him with her, but he thought the Shia family still had billions in assets, and refused to follow his mother abroad to endure hardships, no matter what. The Shia group became an empty shell. When Shia Jinian went back, old Master Shia hoped she could revive the Shia group, but she had never worked since graduating, so she plotted to form a marriage alliance with the Tong family. As my identity was exposed, her hope for a marriage alliance was also shattered. Unreconciled, she kidnapped me, wanting to expose Leo Ryan's true motives in front of me so that I would change my mind. But my words struck her like a lightning bolt. She didn't want to believe that I would love someone so unreservedly, but in a daze, she also remembered that I had indeed, just like this, loved her unreservedly, and she was only one step away from reviving the Shia group. Immense regret attacked her, making tears fall from her eyes. Seeming to finally understand what she had lost, when she was taken away by the police, she was still saying, I'm sorry. Jinkin, it turned out, what she lost was the brilliant starlight that had shone on her since her youth. Lou Ryan squatted down, untied the ropes on my body, touched my face with heartache. Jinkin, I can explain. I didn't know your identity from the beginning, but when you told me Grandma died, and that you were all alone, I then made up my mind to help you find your family. An hour before attending Old Master Tong's birthday banquet, when you entered the study, what I held in my hands was all your information. I helped you find your family, not for myself, but hoping there would be more people to care for and love you. I tightly embraced her in my arms and kissed her forehead. I know everything. If she wanted to form a marriage alliance, back then, after I left, she would have married Shia Zixuan long ago. After all, the Shia family was at the height of its power at that time. Why bother waiting for me? The reason I said that was just to crush Shia Jinian's heart, who told her to publicly state I was just her caregiver. For the rest of her life, she will forever live with guilt towards me. I believe when she meets other men, she will also secretly compare them to me. If that man cannot be unreserved like me, then she will definitely fall into inner turmoil. She can forget about ever living well in this life. And between her and me, all debts of gratitude and grievances are already settled. On the wedding day, I wore a custom-tailored suit. Accompanied by my family, I went step by step to welcome the happiness that belongs to me. At the end of the red carpet, in a white wedding dress, the slender Lou Ryan was looking at me with a face full of love. At the same time, Shia Jinian's verdict came down. Because she was involved in kidnapping, she was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The church bells and the court's gavel struck at the same time. From then on, I lived towards the sun, while she heads towards hell,